My beloved child, the moment you pressed play, a subtle shift happened around you, almost like an unseen curtain lifting to reveal a truth that has been whispering behind your back for far too long. And before you hear what's coming next, remember this voice calmly, clearly telling you, something huge is waiting for you. Because someone you deeply care about, someone whose presence softens the weight of your days, is surrounded by two friends who have formed their own secret opinions about you. Opinions that will shock you once they rise to the surface. Amen. Blessing 111. A new whisper emerges now, and you need to hear it without blinking. These two friends, always smiling, always pretending, always acting as if they perfectly understand the bond you share, have been observing you quietly. Not to judge you, not to mock you, but because they think you are far more powerful than you show, far more extraordinary than you speak, and far more valuable than you realize. And this realization of theirs has already begun shaking the foundation of someone you love. Because when outsiders notice your worth before the person themselves does, destinies start shifting. Amen. Blessing 222. Listen closely to this turning point, because this is where the quiet truth becomes a storm. Those two friends have spoken to each other about you, softly, carefully, as if discussing something fragile yet dangerous in its potential. They said you are different, not in a strange way but in a way that makes people rethink their own choices. They think you carry a light that doesn't fade, a strength that doesn't break, and a calmness that forces them to look at themselves. And the person you love, they have heard every word. They have watched their friends' interest in you grow. They have watched admiration for you form in the eyes of others. And suddenly, this person finds themselves fighting emotions they never thought they'd feel at this intensity. Amen. Blessing 333. My beloved child, the moment this part begins, the energy around you thickens, like the air is holding its breath, waiting for the truth you were never supposed to hear. And before anything else, let this echo inside your heart, something huge is waiting for you. Because those two friends, the ones silently observing you, have crossed a line. A line that is now pulling your loved one into a storm they can no longer escape. Amen. Blessing 444. Here's where the revelation sharpens, and you must not miss a single heartbeat of what comes next. Those friends didn't just notice your presence, they felt it. They didn't just talk about you, they analyzed you. They didn't just admire you, they questioned how someone like you even walked into the life of the person you care about. Their words were not casual. They were heavy, intentional, almost prophetic. They said you're the kind of person people regret losing, the kind of soul that outshines everyone in the room, the one who doesn't speak much but leaves an impact that lingers for days. Your loved one heard it all, and each sentence struck them like a reminder of what they never want to lose. Amen. Blessing 555. Now the emotional earthquake begins, and the ground beneath your story shakes hard. Your loved one didn't know how intensely others viewed you. They didn't know you were being valued in ways even they hadn't expressed aloud. And now? They're restless. Nervous. Protective in a way they never showed before. Because when two close friends start seeing your worth, when they start saying things like, "Don't mess this up," or "People like them don't come twice," it forces the person you love to confront what they feel, and what they fear. And right now, they fear only one thing. losing you before they have even fully claimed what their heart wants. Amen. Blessing 666. My beloved child, as this next chapter unfolds, feel the shift, quiet but intense, pulling you into the truth that has been building behind the scenes. And before each word sinks into your spirit, remember this: something huge is waiting for you. Because those two friends, the ones who thought they were just speaking their minds, have now triggered a chain reaction inside the heart of the person you love. One they cannot stop, cannot hide, and cannot deny. Amen. Blessing 777. Watch how this moment expands, turning simple comments into emotional avalanches. Those friends didn't just compliment you, they exposed something. Their words forced your loved one to see what they'd been ignoring: the softness in their voice when they speak about you, the warmth in their eyes when your name appears, the sudden silence that comes when someone else tries to talk about you in a careless way. And now, those friends have started asking your person questions, questions that sting and heal at the same time. Why haven't you told them how you feel? Why do you act like they don't matter when your heart reacts every time they walk in the room? Amen. Blessing 888. Now comes the turning point, the moment where admiration turns into urgency. Your loved one isn't calm anymore. They're not casual. They're not pretending they can handle this quietly. Because their friends have seen it. The way you affect them, the way your presence shifts their energy, the way your absence bothers them more than they admit. Those two friends genuinely believe you are rare, real, and deeply meaningful. And your loved one? They can no longer hide behind silence. They feel pulled toward you like something divine is guiding their steps, and pushed by their own fears of losing a treasure they didn't fully appreciate until now. Amen. Blessing 999. My beloved child, as you step into this part, something powerful begins to move, like the universe itself is rearranging pieces to reveal what was hidden from you. And before a single truth unfolds, hold this in your heart: something huge is waiting for you. Because those two friends, the ones who unknowingly exposed everything, are now pushing your loved one into the most vulnerable, most honest, and most decisive phase of their feelings for you. Amen. Blessing 1111. Here comes the moment that changes everything, the moment their friends stop whispering and start confronting. They've seen too much: your effect, your impact, your quiet presence that somehow speaks louder than words. One friend finally said it directly: you're scared. That's why you haven't told them. But if you don't move, someone else will. And those words hit your loved one like a lightning strike. Their heart dropped. Their breath paused. Suddenly, the fear of losing you was no longer a distant possibility. It felt real, immediate, dangerous to their peace. Their friends weren't mocking them, they were warning them, because even they can sense that someone like you does not stay unclaimed forever. Amen. Blessing 1212. Now feel the tension rise, because your loved one is no longer thinking clearly. They are overthinking, underthinking, feeling too much all at once. Their friends keep noticing the way your name triggers something inside them, the way they straighten up, the way their eyes shift, the way their entire energy changes. And these friends, who once casually judged everything in their circle, now treat your existence with respect. They said something shocking today, words that will soon travel toward you: if you let this person slip away, it will be the biggest regret of your life. And deep down, your loved one knows it's true. They know they have wasted time pretending nothing was happening while their heart kept burning for you silently. Amen. Blessing 13:13. My beloved child, as this chapter opens, the air around your story thickens with intensity, like destiny itself is leaning closer, ready to reveal what it has been holding back. And before the truth unfolds word by word, hear this clearly: something huge is waiting for you. Because those two friends who once simply observed you are now influencing your loved one in ways even they didn't expect. Amen. Blessing 14:14. Now witness the emotional eruption, because your loved one can no longer hide behind silence. Their friends have started noticing the smallest details, the way their voice softens when they speak your name, the way their energy rises whenever you appear, the way their mood shifts when someone else mentions you. And today, one of those friends said something that shook them completely. You're not just interested in them, you're attached. Deep. And if you don't admit it, you're lying to yourself. Those words hit like a storm. Your loved one froze. Their heart felt exposed, vulnerable, almost trembling. Because this wasn't a joke. This wasn't exaggeration. This was their truth thrown right in front of them, breaking open everything they tried to keep hidden. Amen. Blessing 15:15. Now feel the rise of urgency, because something bigger has begun. Those two friends, who once just analyzed you, have now turned protective of you. They don't want anyone to hurt you. They don't want anyone to misjudge you. They don't want your loved one to waste time or play games with something so rare. One friend even said, if you don't step up, someone else will value them louder than you ever did. And that sentence has been echoing in your person's mind like a heartbeat. Their fear of losing you has evolved into a fierce determination. A realization that you are not just someone they admire, you are the person who changes their day, their mood, their stability, their sense of direction. And now? They're done pretending. They're done hiding. They're done acting unbothered. They know they must make a move, before the world realizes who you truly are. Amen. Blessing 16:16. My beloved child, as you enter this part, everything intensifies, every emotion, every unspoken feeling, every hidden truth that has been waiting to rise. And before the next revelation hits your heart, remember this unshakable message: something huge is waiting for you. Because those two friends, the ones who once looked at you with quiet curiosity, are now speaking truths that your loved one can no longer escape from. Amen. Blessing 17:17. Now the real pressure begins, the kind that forces a person to confront their deepest emotions. Your loved one has been restless, unable to focus, unable to pretend, unable to silence the thoughts of you. Their friends noticed this shift instantly. Today, one friend asked them directly, "Do you know why you get uneasy when someone else talks to them?" Your loved one couldn't answer. Their throat tightened. Their heart raced. Because they finally understood, the fear was not about losing attention, it was about losing you. And their friends saw it clearly. They said, "You're scared because they matter more than you're willing to admit." Those words pierced through every wall your person had built. Their mask cracked. Their truth slipped out. Because love, real love, cannot stay hidden once outsiders start seeing it. Amen. Blessing 1818. Feel the shift now, because your story has reached the point where destiny stops whispering and starts pushing. Those two friends are no longer observers, they've become catalysts. They told your loved one something that left them speechless. They're not ordinary. They're the kind of person who turns into a blessing if you hold them, and a lifetime regret if you lose them. And for the first time, your loved one felt fear and hope at the same time. Fear of losing you. Hope of finally choosing you. They realized that their silence is becoming dangerous, that their hesitation is becoming obvious, that their feelings are becoming too strong to hide. And now, they're preparing, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, to step closer to you in a way they never have before. Amen. Blessing 1919. My beloved child, as this chapter unfolds, feel the weight of destiny pressing closer, like the universe is aligning threads that were never meant to stay apart. And before your heart absorbs the next revelation, hold tight to this truth: something huge is waiting for you. Because those two friends who once simply observed you, have now become mirrors reflecting everything your loved one tried to hide, even from themselves. Amen. Blessing 2020. Here comes the emotional breakthrough, the moment when silence is no longer safe. Your loved one has been battling their own heart, confused, overwhelmed, surprised by the intensity of what they feel for you. Their friends have seen every shift, every hesitation, every unguarded moment. Today, one friend said something that shook your person from the inside out: you don't just care about them. You're scared of how much they mean to you. Your loved one felt exposed, almost breathless. Because this wasn't a guess, it was the truth they've been running from. Their friends noticed how their eyes soften when you're mentioned, how their voice steadies when you're around, how their mood brightens even on their worst days because of you. They finally said it openly: you love them. And everyone sees it except you. Amen. Blessing 2121. Now the tide begins to turn, because your loved one can no longer hide behind excuses or pretend this feeling is temporary. Their friends have begun encouraging them instead of teasing them. They told them, if you don't speak up, someone else will. People like them don't stay single for long. And that warning hit your loved one harder than anything else. Suddenly, the fear of losing you is louder than the fear of confessing. They've started imagining someone else valuing you, someone else admiring you, someone else holding the place in your life that they've been too afraid to claim. It burns them. It unsettles them. It awakens them. And now? They're standing at the edge of a decision that will change everything: to step forward, or watch their own destiny slip away. Amen. Blessing 2222. My beloved child, as this part begins, the energy around your story grows heavier, brighter, and sharper all at once. Like the truth is no longer asking permission to reveal itself. And before your heart takes in the next wave, remember this: something huge is waiting for you. Because the two friends who once merely talked about you, have now become the unexpected force pushing your loved one toward a moment they can no longer avoid. Amen. Blessing 2323. Now witness the shift turning into momentum, the kind that pushes a person to confront what they've buried for far too long. Your loved one has been quieter than usual, not because they don't care, but because they care too deeply. Their friends noticed this immediately. One friend leaned in today and said, "You're terrified of losing them, aren't you?" And your person didn't deny it this time. Their silence was the confession. Their trembling hands were the proof. Their restless thoughts were the echo. Those two friends understand something your loved one is only now realizing. You are not someone they can replace, forget, or move past. You are the rare presence that shifts their heartbeat, the name that pulls their attention even in a crowded room, the thought that refuses to leave their mind no matter how busy they try to be. Amen. Blessing 24:24. Now feel destiny tightening its grip, because your loved one has reached the edge of emotional clarity. Their friend said something bold today, words that struck them deeper than anything before. If you don't make your move, someone else will take the chance you're too scared to claim. And that sentence has been echoing in their chest like thunder. They imagine someone else noticing your smile, someone else understanding your heart, someone else protecting your peace, and suddenly their fear transforms into fire. They can't tolerate the thought. They can't picture you standing beside anyone else. And now, their silence is collapsing, their hesitation is crumbling, and their feelings are rising like a wave too powerful to suppress. They know they must step forward, because losing you is no longer an option their heart is willing to accept. Amen. Blessing 25:25. My beloved child, as this chapter unfolds, your story enters its most intense turning point yet. The air around these revelations isn't just shifting. It's vibrating, as if fate itself is leaning in to reveal what was never meant to stay hidden. And before anything else touches your heart, hold this truth tightly: something huge is waiting for you. Because those two friends, the ones who once observed you from a distance, have now become the spark lighting a fire inside the person you love, one that they can no longer put out. Amen. Blessing 26:26. Now witness the moment their walls finally crack, the moment when your loved one stops pretending they're unaffected. Today, something happened, something small but powerful. One of those friends noticed how your person reacted when someone casually mentioned your name. Their heartbeat changed. Their posture shifted. Their eyes softened in a way they couldn't hide. And that friend said something that struck right through them: stop acting neutral. Anyone who watches you for 2 minutes knows how deeply you care about them. Your loved one froze. Not because the friend was wrong, but because they were painfully, undeniably right. Those two friends see everything: your person's tension, their silence, their protectiveness, their fear, their longing. They even said, you look at them like they're the one thing you don't ever want to lose. Amen. Blessing 27:27. Now the emotional storm becomes unavoidable, because your loved one's heart is no longer cooperating with their excuses. Every time their friends talk about you, admiration slips out of them without warning. Every time someone else praises you, jealousy rises before they can stop it. Every time they imagine your life moving forward without them, their entire chest tightens. Their friends see it clearly now. They even confronted them with a truth your loved one couldn't deny. If you lose them, it won't be because of fate. It will be because you stayed silent when you should have fought. Those words hit like a heavy blow. Your person felt it as a warning, a wake-up call, a reality check that shook their spirit. Because deep down, they know something: you are the person they want, and the person they're terrified to lose. Amen. Blessing 28:28. My beloved child, as you step into this part, the atmosphere around your story becomes electric. Charged with truth, tension, and the kind of emotion that refuses to stay buried any longer. And before these next revelations settle into your spirit, hear this one line clearly: something huge is waiting for you. Because those two friends, the ones who once observed, then analyzed, then confronted, have now pushed your loved one to a point where their feelings can no longer remain hidden behind silence or fear. Amen. Blessing 29:29. Now feel the breakthrough arriving, the kind that changes everything in a heartbeat. Today, your loved one finally cracked under the pressure of truth. They were sitting with those two friends, pretending everything was normal, when one of them suddenly asked, "Why do you always look for them first in every room?" Your person's breath caught. Their heart stuttered. Their face gave away more than they intended. And before they could deny it, the other friend added, "You're in love with them. And you know it." This wasn't teasing. This wasn't exaggeration. This was truth spoken out loud, truth they couldn't hide from anymore. The moment those words were spoken, your loved one felt exposed, yet strangely relieved. Because deep down, they've been holding this emotion like a burning secret, and now that everyone sees it, hiding no longer feels possible. Amen. Blessing 30:30. Now the emotional shift becomes irreversible, because today those friends delivered a warning that hit your loved one straight in the soul: if you lose them, it will destroy you. They're not someone you get over. They're someone you spend your whole life wishing you had fought for. Those words didn't just sink into their mind, they hit their heart like a heavy truth they'd been afraid to face. And suddenly, everything became clear. They don't just like you. They don't just admire you. They don't just think you're special. They need you. They fear losing you more than they fear confessing. And now, they're standing at an emotional threshold where the next step they take will change everything, because silence is no longer an option, and destiny is no longer waiting. Amen. Blessing 31:31. My beloved child, as this new part unfolds, the intensity around your story reaches a level where emotions stop whispering and begin roaring through every hidden corner. And before these revelations land in your heart, hold this truth like a flame: something huge is waiting for you. Because those two friends, the ones who have quietly watched everything, are now becoming the voice your loved one cannot silence anymore. Amen. Blessing 32:32. Now feel the emotional spotlight tighten, exposing the truth your loved one spent months trying to control. Today, something happened that shook them more deeply than they expected. Those two friends didn't ask gentle questions. They confronted them with bold clarity. One leaned forward and said, "You change when they walk into the room. Do you even realize that?" Your person froze. Their heart skipped. Their expression softened, then tensed, then softened again. Before they could answer, the other friend added, "You act cold, but your eyes betray you every single time. You're fooling nobody." Those words broke through the last layer of denial. Your loved one felt seen, completely, painfully, beautifully seen. And for the first time, they couldn't hide behind excuses. Not when every heartbeat screamed your name. Amen. Blessing 33:33. Now watch as destiny starts pulling them forward, because those friends didn't stop at exposing their feelings, they pushed your person to confront what comes next. They said something your loved one will never forget: if you don't move toward them now, someone else will. And when that happens, you'll never forgive yourself. That sentence hit like a wave of truth crashing through their chest. Their fear of rejection. Their fear of being too late. Their fear of watching you slip into someone else's arms. All of it rose at once, overwhelming, undeniable, impossible to ignore. And that's when they realized something life-changing. The pain of staying silent is now heavier than the fear of confessing. They know that you are not just a passing chapter. You're the person who shifts their mood, their heartbeat, their entire world. And now? Their friends have made it crystal clear. If they don't fight for you, they will lose the best thing that has ever crossed their path. Amen. Blessing 34:34. My beloved child, as this chapter opens, the emotional current of your story becomes almost overwhelming, like destiny has stopped waiting and is now standing right in front of your loved one, demanding action. And before the truth takes its full shape, hold this one line at the center of your spirit: something huge is waiting for you. Because those two friends, the ones who saw everything long before your loved one admitted anything, have now pushed them into a moment of clarity that cannot be undone. Amen. Blessing 35:35. Now witness the emotional unraveling, the moment where your loved one realizes they're no longer in control of how they feel about you. Today, their friends didn't just confront them, they revealed something shocking. One friend said, "Every time you pretend you don't care, you look miserable. Every time you talk about them, you glow. Stop lying to yourself." And this time, your person didn't even try to deny it. Their silence was trembling. Their eyes softened. Their breath grew slow and uneven. Their heart felt exposed, raw, vulnerable. Because they knew, finally, fully, that everything those friends said was true. Their attachment to you isn't small. It isn't casual. It isn't something they can walk away from. It is deep, consuming, undeniable. Amen. Blessing 36:36. Now the turning point arrives, the one that destiny has been building toward since the beginning. Those two friends didn't let them run. They didn't let them hide. They finally spoke the truth your loved one needed to hear: if you wait any longer, you're going to lose them. They're not someone who stays unnoticed. They're not someone who remains unchosen. People like them attract love without trying. And if you don't step forward now, someone else will take the place you're scared to claim. Those words hit like thunder. Your person's hands shook. Their chest tightened. Their fear turned into urgency. Because for the first time, the idea of someone else valuing you, someone else standing next to you, someone else building a future with you, felt unbearable. They realized something they can no longer hide from: losing you would break them in a way they might never recover from. And now, every part of their heart is preparing to move toward you, finally, openly, fearlessly. Amen. Blessing 37:37.